Good morning. How are we doing today? This is James Sweeney, aka SplitSuit. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I want to talk about studying poker, and more specifically, sharing my study routine with you. This is especially useful if you don't already have one, but if you do have a study routine, maybe you can take bits and pieces of this and make improvements on yours. And the thing we have to keep in mind is that we're not going to become the best poker player in the world overnight, or even in a week, or even in a month. It's going to take long periods of time, and even just to become the best poker player we can be is going to take a long period of time. But if we can break this up into week-long sprints, and we can say, okay, this week I'm going to try to fix this leak, the next week another, the next week another. If we can do that and keep improving our game and decreasing our leaks, we're going to become better players over time. So the way that I set this up is through a week-long time box. With that said, let's talk about the way that that week should be breaking down. So where should you begin? Well, in the very beginning of the week, you want to start by choosing your topic. So choose your major focus topic for the week. And that's not to say you're not going to work on other things simultaneously, right? Say you wanted to work on squeezing this week. You're going to also be working on things like sizing that squeeze and hand reading pre-flop and setting up for flop play, all of those things. But choose one major topic and understand that you will touch on other things simultaneously. And the topic that you choose needs to hit both of these requirements. One, needs to be something that you know you need work on, and two, it needs to be something that most heavily impacts your win rate. Now, here's the thing. Some people will watch this and say, well, I don't really think I need too much work on things. And I'm just going to call major BS on you. Every single poker player needs work on certain parts of their game. Some more than others, some less than others, and that's fine. But everyone needs help on something. So choose something that's going to not only be something that you need work on, but also impact your win rate, right? If you're newer to poker, it's more important that you learn how to play your monsters right this moment than you learn how to river bluff check raise in very specific situations. Choose spots that are going to impact your win rate the absolute most. And if you don't know where to start, you've never really thought about this before, just spend the next 20 minutes and just brain dump all of the spots where you feel uncomfortable, where you feel confused, or situations where you've heard people talk about something like, be it squeezing or double barreling or when to turn check raise, all those things. And then take a moment and rank all of those by importance and by order of win rate impact, right? Is something going to impact your win rate more if you study it right this moment? And if so, that might be the thing that you choose for this week. So again, choose a topic that works best for you and is something that you need work on right this moment. After you choose your topic, it's time to actually get working. And I always suggest during a given week that you read at least 2 articles on this topic. And if you have a book or you have some solid chapters in a book that are on this topic, then definitely use those. They can either replace the 2 articles or they can be with the 2 articles, but definitely make sure you spend some time reading about this topic. And if you are doing this diligently, and you should be, you want to keep a journal while you're doing this kind of stuff. And it could be a Word document or a Google Drive doc. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you're writing. And what you want to do is you want to, while studying this stuff, write down new things that you learn, but also write down any new questions that come up while you're studying this, right? So if you're reading an article and a coach suggests squeezing X, Y, or Z hand, then think about, okay, why is that the case? And if you can't come up with a clear answer, write it down. And while you're studying this throughout the rest of the week, you're going to be looking to answer all of those next questions that come up, right? Because when you first choose a topic, you have a very basic question, right? How do I squeeze, or how do I double barrel bluff? And then when you're digging down deeper and deeper, more and more questions will arise. And your goal is to answer those as well. And once you can answer not only the major topic question, but also all these sub questions that come up, that's what's going to help you become a really well-rounded player. And you don't have to read the 2 articles right away, like read them Monday afternoon or anything, but definitely make sure that you're doing that throughout the week. And then next, make sure you're watching at least one video throughout the week. So if you have a training site subscription, then definitely look through their videos first and find at least one video that's on your topic. And if you're on any site that has a decent sized video database, you're going to be able to find something. If you don't have a video site subscription yet, I would definitely suggest taking our 1-week free trial over at Redchip. And you can see more on that at redchippoker.com/membership. Definitely suggest you check that out and take a peek. Use the search functionality, try to find a playlist or at least a video on that topic. If you don't have a training site subscription, you're saving your bankroll right now, no problem whatsoever. YouTube and Google are going to be your best friend. And if you haven't already checked out this little trick, it's awesome. Just search for SplitSuit and then whatever topic you're searching for. Whether you're doing that on YouTube or Google, chances are you're going to find at least something that can get you started. And remember, sometimes you might have to check it a couple different ways, right? If you're looking for how to play pocket aces, search for SplitSuit AA or SplitSuit pocket aces. You're going to find something in there almost guaranteed. So make sure throughout the week you're watching at least one video. The more study time you have, maybe you make that 2 or 3 videos. The more work you need on that, maybe a couple more. But definitely, again, make sure that you're making this a habit and constantly looking for new ways to study. Yes, articles are one way, books are one way, videos are another way, and there's plenty of other ways as well. Also, throughout the week, I'd like you to post at least once. Use a poker forum to your advantage. And you can do one of these two things. You can either find an existing thread that already exists on your topic, you can read it, digest it, and then post in it, maybe ask a follow-up question or a clarification question, something like that. Or you can start a new thread about your topic, asking questions, sharing a hand related to it, and say, hey, I'm working on this, here's a hand that came up, am I thinking about this correctly? And I know that posting is not everyone's favorite thing, right? I know that a lot of players are very against posting. Either they posted on bad forums in the past, or they've gotten trolled, or they really just don't feel comfortable with the whole thing. But I promise you, it's incredibly beneficial. So if you don't already have a forum, I would definitely suggest checking us out over at redshippoker.com/forum. We have a great one, extremely friendly, and also we post on everything from cash games to tournaments and everything in between. So definitely suggest checking that out if you need a forum right this moment, but definitely make this a habit. And honestly, if you use forums correctly, you're definitely going to be posting more than once per week, but I would suggest at least starting there if you're new to it. Again, just either find an existing thread and ask some follow-up questions, or start a new thread, and I assure you it's going to help tremendously. Getting that group consensus, getting some more ideas, opening up your poker network is going to be a huge benefit in the long run. The next thing I want you to do is spend some extra energy focusing on this topic while you're playing sessions during the week. So it's not that you abandon the other facets of your strategy or you only focus on this one concept that you're working on, but I want you to spend some extra energy focusing on it. And even if you don't pull the trigger yet in real time, at least be focusing on that situation and related situations and what you would be thinking about in that spot. So again, take the situation where you're working on squeezing, right? Maybe you don't feel comfortable pulling the trigger and running a bluff squeeze yet. Okay, that's fine, but when you're playing sessions this week, look for spots and say, would this be a good situation? Okay, I folded here, that's fine, but would I squeeze in this situation in the future? What would be good about this spot? What would be bad about this spot? So again, you're not abandoning other parts of your strategy. You're just giving a little bit more time and attention to this when you're in real time. Even if you don't pull the trigger yet, that's okay. Just be thinking about this, and I assure you it's going to help in the long run. It may seem a little bit weird at first, but you get used to this over time, and especially when you're choosing the right topics for you, you're going to notice situations like this coming up, and you're going to notice spots that you've been passing up on in the past. And as you get later into the week, make sure to check your journal, right? So remember, throughout the week, you've been keeping this journal, you've been writing down things that you've learned, new questions that you developed, any ideas for future study topics that may have been related to this, right? Again, if you're working on squeezing, you might realize, wait, I need a little bit of work on flop play first. I don't really know how the heck to handle that spot, right? So maybe that's what you end up working on the next week or the week after that. And at the end of this week of study, I want you to go back and I want you to read your journal real quick, read your notes, and see if you've managed to answer any of those questions that you've written down along the way. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. If you haven't, again, maybe something that you want to go read a quick article on or watch a quick video on, or maybe just add that as your study topic for next week. And what I also challenge you to do is spend this time at the end of the week and write a few paragraphs about your topic, as if you were writing a strategy chapter in a book. It may seem a little bit weird, you may seem, or it may feel incredibly underqualified. That's totally okay. Just do your best to write about it, because in writing about it, you're going to notice spots where you're like, wait, I'm a little weak there, or wait, my logic doesn't 100% make sense here. It's really going to help you put not only words to paper, but also be able to say, wait, those words don't make any sense, or that strategy isn't making sense, or this isn't clear yet. Trust me, this can be a very, very illuminating experience, especially if you've never done it in the past. And then in preparation for the next week, think about your next topic and prepare to do this process again next week. And every couple of months, I want you to go back and review this journal that you've been keeping, and especially keep track of those strategy chapters that you wrote. Go back, reread those and say, wait, am I improving on this? Am I understanding this deeper? Did I write something incorrectly in the past? And then go back and change that and update it with your new information, right? Because over time, as you're continually studying, you're going to get more and more information. You're going to think more and more logically and at more more strategically and be able to have a better understanding than the stuff you wrote months ago. And then every couple of months, like maybe once a quarter, I want you to make sure you zoom out, look at your current leaks, and then plan your next few weeks of study topics, right? Study topics should be used for one of two things, either to improve or increase your playbook, or two is to fix leaks. And oftentimes leaks, sometimes if we're not looking for them, we can get a little lazy, we can brush over them, and leaks are really what we want to be studying, right? Because once we identify a leak, we work on it, we study it, and all of a sudden that leak is no longer impacting us and is no longer becoming a loss rate scenario. Instead, it's being flipped into a win rate scenario. So make sure you're doing this. I know it's a little cumbersome, it takes some time, but if you make this a habit, it won't feel hellish. And even if you've been out of studying for a long time, trust me, the habit will make it much, much easier. And then you just rinse, repeat this process forever. And I know it takes time. I know it's going to take a little bit of effort, but I assure you, if you put the time and effort into it, your poker strategy as a whole is definitely going to benefit. So make sure to be diligent with this. Don't be lazy. Don't skimp on it. If you're serious about becoming a better player, understand that it takes work, but it's not too much. If you really break it down, maybe it's a couple few hours per week, but trust me, fixing up your leaks in just a few hours is going to be hugely profitable. So this is the study routine that I would suggest, especially if you don't already have one. It's not too difficult, right? Choose a topic that's going to impact your win rate. Read some articles on that topic. Watch at least one video on that topic. Post a little bit on that topic. Spend some extra energy on that topic when you're actually playing in real time, and make sure to keep that journal. Remember, if you can get used to that, write down extra questions that come up, try to answer those questions, and at the end of every week, write a few paragraphs as if you were writing a strategy chapter in a book. It's going to be extremely beneficial in the long run, so you can go back, you can review those, and you can continue patching leaks and improving your strategy along the way. So this entire video is actually inspired by a very small subsection of one of the chapters of my brand new book, Unfolding Poker. Unfolding Poker is my chance to give advanced answers to some of the most frequently asked poker questions. These are questions I get from students, from forums, from YouTube comments, and it's my chance to give you clear and actionable answers that you can start putting to use in your next session. This book comes in ebook form, paperback form, and also the audiobook form if you really like listening to content instead of just having to read it. So if you're interested in this, check it out at SplitSuit.com/unfold. Again, this whole video was inspired by a small subsection from the chapter all about how to study and improve faster, but there's also chapters on running it twice, c-betting and multi-way flops, when to change bet sizes, and more. So if you're interested in this, you can learn more at SplitSuit.com/unfold. And I'd also like to take a quick moment to thank my sponsor for this book, BBO Poker Tables. If you're looking to get started and customize your own poker table from scratch today, or choose from a selection of pre-built ones, get started at bbpokertables.com. That's B as in beta, B as in beta, O as in omega, bbpokertables.com, and use the code SplitSuit at checkout to get a special gift. And that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Hopefully you learned a little bit about how to study better, and hopefully this helps you start building your own study routine. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, as always, good luck out there and happy grinding.